Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, Facebook, YouTube. Hope you're all having a great Tuesday. A lot of things in the news this morning that I just want to touch on real quick. Before I do that, I just want to give everybody an update. If you're watching this video this morning and you're trying to find out what happened to last night's show, we had a great show last night. It is finally uploaded and pushed over to Rumble. I still have to download it on Podbean. So I'll do that after I get off of here. But anyway, if you guys are looking for it, it's still it's on Rumble. I don't know. It might take a little bit for it to kind of finish downloading or whatever, but I pushed it over there. So hopefully those of you who missed last night's show can jump over there and take a look at it. It's also always on Facebook. So you don't even have to wait for the Rumble download. Just go to Facebook and type in Liberty Warrior Nation and the show will be right there. And you can watch it right away. So anyway, that's the update for last night's show. Holy crap, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now that I just want to talk about real quick. Good question, Shane, but no, I didn't even think about it. Okay, so the AG from Montana, Austin K, has made an announcement that a federal judge grants our request an injunction on the mandate to block all 50 states. Now, I read down through that. I couldn't see if he was talking about the federal judge out of Louisiana, but he states we must continue this fight. We must continue to push back. So listen, we're not alone. We're all in this together, and to win this whole thing, we have to continue to fight. We had Affidavit Mamas on last night. They're fighting. They're pushing back. So it's our job. It's our time to do this. So I know a lot of people out there are scared. I know a lot of people are concerned. I know a lot of people are having to make choices, about their jobs. I know that my aunt's husband is having to make a hard decision. It sounds like Missy is now going to have to make a hard decision there in Ohio. There are jobs out there, folks. If you choose to walk away or allow them to fire you, there are jobs out there that you can find that doesn't require the mandate. So, just reach out to us. There's other resources there that we can put you in contact with to help you guys pay the bills. May not be the job that you were trained to do, but I don't know. I look at it this way. My mom said to me about my aunt's husband. Well, they got bills to pay. They got a house, so he's going to have to make the decision whether to take the mandate or not. And I said, all right, well, how's this for a decision? You decide to take the mandate, you decide to take the vacation, and you don't survive. So what good does that do you? I mean, seriously, it's a serious question because it's happening, right? There are things happening with the vacation where people either don't survive it or they end up worse off than they were before. Right? So again, is it worth the risk? Me personally, it's not worth the risk. So I would either choose to, well, you should choose to have them fire you or walk away. You've got 90 days at least before any type of foreclosure would happen to your house if you didn't make your payments. So you got 90 days to figure it out. Is that enough time? I think it's a reasonable amount of time. Is it enough? I don't know. I don't know what your circumstance is. But again, if you make that choice, my uncle went blind. Exactly. I heard other people going blind from taking it. I've heard people getting dementia from taking it. I've heard people having the blood clots and everything else. So there's lots and lots of things out there that can go wrong if you choose to make that. So again, I ask you, is it worth your house? Is your life worth your house? Because in my opinion, it's not. I can always buy another house. I can always get another house. I'm going to choose the route that is best for me, and it may not be the same route that you would choose. So anyway, teachers and students. This was sent to me this morning too. Teachers and students. Teachers are now like health medical field people, and our police departments, our fire departments are now retiring at a rapid pace because of one, the mandates, but two, because of the behaviors of students in their classes. They're stating that since children have not had a stable school structure for the last 2 years, that their behaviors are getting out of control. Um, I don't know how much of that is true. Um, I think we've all been in high school. I've seen all kinds of behaviors, even in my day. We used to play all kinds of pranks on our teachers. So, you know, kids are going to be kids. I think if I had to look at that article and make a determination on why teachers are really retiring, I would say it's probably because of the mandates. They're not going to bend to the mandates. They're not going to consent. They're not going to comply. And of course, the behaviors of the children probably just add to that. Here's one for you. This was just sent to me minutes ago. Newsmax, I guess, is reporting that the Pope may be dying. This is coming from Newsmax. I'm going to look at it after I get off the show, but this was sent to me about 2 minutes before I pushed the live button. That seems like it could be something worth looking into. Popes die all the time, especially when they're 100 and something years old. So I know we've been told that he was already gone. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that out there to you guys. Check out Newsmax. They're reporting Pope is dying. Amazon is down today. Here's something that I find pretty interesting. You guys might really like this one. Amazon is down across Europe. This is also sent to me at the last second here. I guess Amazon's crashed their website over in Europe. Thousands and thousands of people reporting problems with their Amazon and their orders, this, that, and the other. And then it's also being reported. I think even Monkey is talking about it. So you guys can jump over and look at what Monkey's putting out if you haven't already seen it. NATO planes are flying all over Europe, and I mean a ton of them. So I find that very interesting that all of Europe is down with Amazon and planes are up. So what's going on? I don't know. Just found it interesting. And then I guess there's a couple of news outlets out there that are reporting that the shipping containers carrying missiles could be a real threat. Nobody's saying that it's 100% real. They haven't found any yet. Okay. But they said it's a legit threat, you know. I know Sage talked about it yesterday. He kind of explained it to us. And I found his explanation to be really good. Like he said, and this is from Sage News. He said, imagine this. These shipping containers could be a legit threat. They could put these things on the ships. They're a little bit of an old technology, but they could work. And how he explained it is, imagine the Coast Guard, which he served in the Coast Guard, having to board every one of those ships and open every one of those containers. And then he further explained it to, imagine those ships being in our ports or out in our bays or whatever, and we have our Navy out there, our Coast Guard, and then all of a sudden those things were to get kinetic, and our Navy, our Coast Guard would have a hard time determining what's friend and what's foe at that point. Just something that I thought that I would reiterate after our conversation yesterday, because I don't fear it. It's just, it kind of could connect dots. Today is December 7th, 2021. The date that will live in infamy, Pearl Harbor. So I bring this up about the shipping containers because could it happen again? I don't know. I think it's been happening for decades within. I think they have infiltrated us and tried to tear us down from within. But you could imagine what kind of damage, you know, hundreds and hundreds of cargo shipping ships out there would do to us if this was true. Again, I don't know. It just kind of landed on my desk this morning, so I thought I'd talk about it. Oh, let's see. The Michigan school shooting in Oxford. The parents are now being charged over the weekend. It sounds like the father bought the son a gun. The mother took him to the shooting range. And I guess the son was drawing pictures in school that were very concerning. So they called the parents in, had a conversation with them. And at that point, they did nothing. They didn't say anything to school about their son having a gun or them buying a gun. And then I guess he went to school a couple days later and shit happened. So now the parents are looking at 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. So they're trying to hold them accountable for their son's actions. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that. I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna have to see more of the evidence, more of the court case. I just found it interesting that they're trying to hold them accountable. Do you think they should be held accountable? Purchasing a firearm for their son, taking him to the shooting range. I mean, my son's 9 and I take him out shooting. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with buying your child a firearm. But if your child is depressed or having problems in school, being bullied, drawing certain graphic and violent pictures in school, you're brought into the school, they talk to you about it, and you say nothing. Does that constitute you being liable for your child's actions? If you want my opinion of it, I think that you should be liable for something there. I mean, with the way things are nowadays, you wouldn't have said something. I know I would have. I know I would have been very concerned as a parent being in front of the school and seeing pictures that my child had drawn up. And I would have said, you know what, maybe we need to do something at home. Maybe we need to, lock some things up. And I don't want to be very clear. I don't believe in locking up firearms. I that is not my belief. What good is a firearm to yourself for protection if it's locked up? If somebody's entering your home uninvited, how long is it going to take you to get to that firearm? Are you going to be nervous? Are you going to be anxiety pumping out of your chest, your heart going 100 miles an hour? How quickly are you going to access that firearm to protect yourself? So I don't believe in locking them up. Not like that. But in this case, I believe if I knew my child was in trouble and mentally unstable, I would probably, at that point, lock all of my weapons up and get him some help, or her, until I felt that possibly the threat was no longer there. That's just my opinion. You guys form your own opinions, but that's just what I feel probably should have been done. But being a Monday morning quarterback, it's always easy. Hindsight is always 20/20. I wasn't in their shoes. I wasn't in the room. I have no idea. Just my thoughts. Okay. Something else that popped up in the news for December 7th. 200 plus local newspapers sue Google and Facebook. What's that all about? So it's got a picture of old Zuckerberg on there. It says more than 200 newspapers across the U.S. have reportedly joined um, antitrust lawsuits against Google and Facebook over the past year. The lawsuit claimed that Facebook and Google have monopolized the digital ads market, taking revenue that should have gone to the local news outlets. So that whole lawsuit sounds like to me is about the money. They're pissed off that they're not making any money, and Facebook and Google's grabbing it all. Money grab. I find it interesting. I posted this morning about where did it go? I posted this morning on the community page about Devin Newsom will retire from Congress and join Trump social media. So what do you think about that? What's that going to look like in the near future? And he's going to be CEO of the social media platform. So Shane and I were talking about it, and that's not something that I would say a congressman would or woman would take lightly. I think once you make that decision, and he's already made the announcement that he's retiring at the end of this year, you can't go back. So once they make that announcement, it's over for you. You're no longer going to be a congressman, congresswoman. So is that going to be the right move for him? I don't know. It's a big jump. It's a big move. It's a big move on the old chessboard. So something that you might want to look into. Let's see. There was one other thing I want to bring up. Oh, so it looks like the Defense Foundation is going to take over 60 World War II vets back to Pearl Harbor for the 80th anniversary today. 60 of them still alive. I thought that was pretty neat. I'm sure it's very emotional for them, just like D-Day or any of the other big days in our world history for stuff like that. You know, these men and women of that generation, the greatest generation. Could you imagine the memories that they'll have when they get there at the memorial, at the Arizona, and the rest of them that are still at the bottom of the ocean? Could you imagine what they're going to feel, even though it's been 80 years since the attack on Pearl Harbor? It's definitely going to be an emotional event for them. I'm going to try to watch some of it if it's televised. I'm sure it will be. 80 years ago. That's a long, long time. It's a long time to still be alive. So that would put those veterans at what? Some of them, I think, joined at age 17, 18 years old. You know, 80 years later, they're 97, 98 years old. Some of them probably 100, maybe a little older than that. To survive World War II, to survive Pearl Harbor, and have such a long life. Pretty amazing stories, I think. We'll probably talk about that tonight on the show. We'll probably bring up Pearl Harbor, maybe give some of you an opportunity to call in and tell your stories. I know a few people reached out to me already, was telling me stories about their uncles and their grandfathers that fought in World War II. I know I had a couple of great uncles that also fought in World War II. here's something that's ongoing that I just don't really understand. And then I'm going to get off of here. Um, Big ears Obama opened this can of worms many years ago when he was president. He started introducing same-sex bathrooms and transgenderism and all this stuff. And now we're seeing the fallout from that with trans swimmer crushes women's records likely to win NCC or NCAA titles. Now we've been seeing a lot of this stuff popping up in the news, a lot of trans that are now breaking women's records, whether it be in the Olympics or in college or high school sports, women's wrestlers, women's basketball players that are trans. How do you guys feel about that? Especially you women. Is that a big deal to you guys? Because it's definitely, in my opinion, a big deal. I think that if you're born male, you should probably stay out of women's sports. Period. I don't care if you've had a sex change. I don't care if you've taken hormones for it. If you want to consider yourself or define yourself as a woman today, I don't care. If you don't like my opinion, you have a right not to like it. But it's my opinion, and I think it's unfortunate that high schools and colleges are allowing this to happen. Okay, so Newsmax is still putting out that the Pope is dying, and that they're getting ready for their conclave, whatever it's called, conclave, where they pick the next pope. That's always pretty interesting. Anyway, back to the transgender, and then I'm gonna bounce out of here. What the hell is our world coming to where we allow this to happen? If you identify as a woman today, I can walk into a bathroom in a restaurant and use the bathroom with the women. I don't know. I find it to be sometimes probably a mental disorder. I know a lot of people say, well, they were born that way. People say that, well, they were born in a man's body, but they feel like they're a woman, and all these different, I don't know what you want to call them. I wouldn't call them theories. I would call them emotional feelings of how they feel. Could any of that be brought on by society's programming and indoctrination and grooming of our children at such a young age? When you start talking about the affidavit mamas that came on last night, and they're teaching such sex education as young as kindergarten now, and they're convincing our children, in my opinion, convincing them that there are no boundaries, and that, I mean, they even ask these stupid questions. Do you feel like a girl? Do you want to be a girl? I mean, why would you even plant those seeds in any kid's head? I find it disgusting. It's just wrong. It's wrong. I never was asked those questions when I was in school. At any grade level was I ever asked those questions. Ever. I grew up in the 80s. I graduated in 93. We were never introduced to that stuff. I think sex education started when we were in junior high. You started learning about hygiene in junior high and certain things. But it was up to the parents to talk to us about sex ed. You know, what are they doing to our children? Why are we allowing it? These poor children are growing up confused. They don't know what to think because they just get crammed full of so much crap in our schools. And we talked about that last night, which that show is now over on Rumble. It's on Facebook. It'll be on uh, Podbean here by the end of the day. I just want to leave you with that. What do you think about transgenders being in sports, let alone being able to use the same bathroom or locker room? But what about the sports? It's a fact. It's a scientific fact that males, have a stronger physical stature than women. Period. Now, yes, there are women that hit the gym. I've seen a few of them on Facebook that they work out and they're badasses. But now they're crossing the line back over into the male side of things. You know, women with arms bigger than mine. That's not attractive for me anyway. So there's this mixture where they want us all to be one gender, basically, in my opinion. And I like being a man, and I'm sure there are more of you out there that enjoy being a man, and I'm sure a lot of you ladies out there enjoy being a lady. And it's our generation, I'm sure, but this thing nowadays is just out of control, absolutely out of control. So I'm going to leave you with that. We'll see you back here this evening at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain Time. Love you all. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.